this week we've been looking at addictions with three very personal stories.
Yes, we met the Lawrence family on Tuesday, whose lives have been torn apart by heroin addiction.
Then on Wednesday, Adam Gutteridge told us about his alcohol addiction and how he's now sober and helping others.
And last night, Sandra Minshaw told how she's eventually broken her addiction to prescribed tranquilizers after 22 years.
Well, Sandra's story had special significance for Lord Patel of Bradford. He chairs a new all-party parliamentary group for prescribed drug dependency. He came to our studios earlier, and after watching all three films, I asked him for his reaction to what he'd seen.
I think ITV certainly needs to be congratulated that you've raised issues that need raising, that allow people to talk about this, allow society to have an in-depth discussion.
Where do we start trying to tackle these problems?
If we take the prescribed drugs, that's an interesting one, because I used to work a long time ago in Bradford at the Bridge Project, one of the organisations that you showcased, and one of the very few organisations in the country that actually provides services to people dependent on prescribed drugs. What you have shown with Sandra is there's a chunk of people we didn't get to and help at that time. There's a new group of people that are coming, and the NHS is struggling in a big way, and we don't spend enough money on mental health care.
So you're co-chair of an all-party group looking at this on prescribed drugs. What essentially do you hope can come out of it?
I think probably 5 to 6 broad areas. We want to raise the issue about the 80 million prescriptions for antidepressants that are given out every year. We want to make sure that services like the Bridge Project are more available across the country. We want to provide training or improve the training that goes to medics, GPs, nurses and others in terms of their alternatives. We want to look at the guidelines that currently exist and make sure people adhere to those guidelines, but probably develop new guidelines in conjunction with people like Sandra and others who have faced this and listen to their voices. We need to have more data. We need to look at this data, gather it, because we don't know actually what's going on. And probably finally, more research on the long-term impact, because we still don't know of people on prescribed medication.
Education in all of this is probably key. Do we start early enough?
No. Full stop, we don't start early. You know, and it depends what we're starting with, because I remember, you know, working in the drugs field for many years. I remember the police officers going into schools with their suitcases saying, these are the drugs, you know, don't take them because they'll do you great harm and go away. Evidence suggests that that prevention doesn't work. You know, young people are far smarter than we give them credit for.
So what should we do? How early should we get in there?
I think we need to get in there from primary school. I think we need to get in there from primary school and help people with their emotional intelligence. What do I mean by that? I mean helping them to talk about their feelings, their stresses in life. If somebody hurts themselves or breaks a leg or a finger, we deal with it. If somebody's got an emotional issue, you know, we shy away from it. We need to let people know, you know, this is an ailment and it's an ailment in the brain and it can be dealt with and we can talk about it.
Well, people will say innocence of children, primary school, you're talking, what, 5 years old or something like that? That's far too young to rob them of their innocence, they would say.
We're not robbing them of their innocence, we're giving them the ability to grow up understanding the world around them. You know, they can get an iPad and find out anything in seconds. Some of it's a lot of misinformation. We need to give them that ability to be strong, well-rounded human beings.
Is it a message to get across tonight that help is out there, support is there for you, go and look for it, and you can change your lives?
Without a shadow of a doubt, I think trying to deal with these things in isolation causes damage. I mean, you only have to look at Adam. He could manage. He was a bright individual who had the intellect to put a face on things, but was drinking himself to death. You know, I'll be honest. You know, I don't think there's enough services out there to help. But that doesn't mean don't go and look for it, because there are people who will want to help you, and we'll find somebody that opens that door. But talk about it.
Okay, Lord Patel, thank you for talking to us tonight. Lord Patel of Bradford talking to me a little earlier, and if you or your family have been affected by any of the issues in our reports today or this week, you can go to our website for a list of organisations that offer help, itv.com